A lot of people spend their whole lives trying to appear successful, important, and impressive in the eyes of others. But I think the opposite can actually be one of the smartest things you do. I saw videos about this topic last year, and at first I didn't really feel like I had much to add, but something happened just yesterday that made me really want to talk about it. I had an appointment with a business accountant, and for a moment before the meeting, I caught myself thinking, maybe I should dress up a little bit, put on something more formal, something that would signal I'm doing really well in life and have it all together. But then it hit me, like, what am I doing here? Why am I trying to prove something with the way I look to a stranger who is literally paid to check spreadsheets and not outfits? So in the end, I wore what I normally like wearing, the same clothes I wear at home or even in the middle of nowhere, and it reminded me how strong the pressure is to show off wealth or status or these things, even in small moments. So in this video, I want to go deeper into this whole idea of looking poor, the real reasons people are so afraid of it, what the benefits actually are, how to practice it beyond just your clothing, and how to make sure you don't overdo it or turn it into a new kind of ego game. And when I say looking poor, I don't mean walking around in dirty or ripped clothes or not taking care of yourself. I'm talking about choosing to live simply and not showing status, even if you could. So many people fall into that trap without even realizing it, and that's why it's important to understand why. A lot of us grow up with the fear of looking poor. It's not really about the clothes or the things themselves. It's about what people might think if we don't look a certain way. Nobody wants to be judged as lazy, unsuccessful, or careless, and so much of that judgment gets tied to appearances. I remember many years ago, someone made a comment about me wearing the same clothes every day. And yeah, she was right. I was wearing the same clothes every day. Back then, I wasn't so confident, and I remember it hit really hard. That person probably forgot what she said like the next day, but I carried it with me for a long time, and that's why I still remember it. It made me question myself, as if wearing the same clothes often made me less valuable as a person. And that's the trap. They say money doesn't really change people, it just reveals them. A lot of us use it to cover insecurities. For some people, one small comment like that can spark years of buying new outfits to cover the insecurity. We try to buy our way into confidence to say, look, I am successful, I am not poor, I have a lot of value. But that confidence is not real, and it never lasts anyway. And companies, they know this too. There are billions spent every single year to make you feel like your worth is tied to products. Advertisements don't just sell clothes or cars, they sell belonging, they sell status. They tell you, wear this and people will respect you. Drive this and people will admire you. There's also a deeper layer to why people want to keep buying stuff. For many, clutter and consumerism are ways to avoid emptiness. If you stop chasing and stop filling your space, you are left with yourself, and that can be really uncomfortable. It feels much safer to cover that space with brands, with labels and polished appearances than to sit with silence or face what is really going on inside. So people overcompensate. They polish the outside even if the inside feels fragile. They upgrade the car, the wardrobe, the home, because it feels like progress. But the truth is, all that effort doesn't actually bring the peace or respect people are chasing. If anything, it creates a cycle where you always need more to feel okay. I have noticed that the more someone needs to show off, the less secure they usually feel inside. And that's where the idea of looking poor becomes powerful. Because if you step away from that game, you start to see a lot of benefits. One of the clearest benefits of looking poor is financial. When you are not trying to impress people with cars, fashion, or the latest iPhones, you stop wasting money on things that don't really add much to your life. The problem with chasing appearances is that it never ends with one purchase. A new car often means a loan, interest rates, higher insurance, more expensive maintenance. A bigger house often means a bigger mortgage, higher bills, and more furniture to fill it. What looks like a dream life quickly becomes a trap. That's what people call the golden cage. Every lifestyle upgrade ties you a little tighter to your job, to your income, to the need for more. And the higher your lifestyle demands, the fewer options you have. You cannot easily walk away from a job that drains you when the bills require constant high income. You cannot take a risk or a break or try something new because your lifestyle won't allow it. But when you step away from that, things change. Every dollar not spent on appearances is a dollar you can save or invest. The difference becomes huge over the years. After 10 or 15 years, the person chasing every upgrade has a house full of things, while the person who chose simple has savings, no debt, and more freedom. The second benefit is mental. When you stop trying to look rich, you also stop carrying the mental pressure of maintaining an image. You don't need to constantly keep up or know what other people are doing, and that alone can be such a huge relief. Because the danger of building your identity on how you look is that it can collapse the moment the money is not there. If you lose the income, then suddenly your whole self-image feels threatened. But when you anchor your confidence in things like values, actions, skills, and ideas, nobody can take that away from you. Living with fewer cool things also forces you to notice where you are actually seeking that approval. Like maybe you feel uncomfortable repeating outfits like I did, or you crave compliments when you get something new. That awareness is really powerful because it shines a light on the small insecurities that we usually cover up. You start to see more clearly what actually makes you feel good about yourself. Is it the clothes, or is it how people react to the clothes? Is it the object, or is it the little ego boost that comes with it? And once you start asking those questions, you begin to see the difference between confidence that comes from inside and confidence that depends on stuff. And of course, I know some of you watching might actually be struggling financially, so none of this is a choice for you. But even in hard times, you might already be building strengths that others miss. If you can build this mindset now, you will spend less trying to prove yourself, and your relationship with both money and confidence will be much healthier when things improve. Then there's the way it affects your social life. How you look might really change the way certain people treat you. It's what some people call stealth wealth. If you don't look like a target, you don't get the same attention. Nobody's trying to scam you, sell you something you don't need, or envy what you have. You're just another ordinary person, and that is actually a much safer place to be. It also changes the kind of friends you attract. When you act like you are rich and you have all this stuff, you tend to invite the kind of people who care about that image too. And often they are not the nicest people to have around, especially for the long term. Chasing status can make people really competitive and sometimes even arrogant, which is not really a good base for a friendship or any type of relationship. But when you take all that away, something else happens. You start connecting with people who value you for who you are, your mind, your values, your presence. So looking poor becomes kind of like the ultimate authenticity test. It filters out the ones who were only interested in what you could offer them on the surface. What's left are the people who actually see you. And then there's the physical side. They say the most valuable thing you can ever own is your health. But unfortunately, a lot of people invest more in looking healthy and young than in actually being healthy. All the unglamorous things like sleep, nutrition, dental care, preventative checkups never get likes on social media, but actually extend the healthy years of your life. Good food will do more for your body than a designer outfit. A checkup at the dentist will save you more pain than the latest phone upgrade. So I think it's also important to mention here that looking poor doesn't mean having the mindset of being poor. If you have the chance, don't cut corners on health. The point is not to save from absolutely everything to look as poor as possible. It's about saving from the surface level stuff so you can put more into the things that matter more. It also has an ethical side, something not a lot of people realize. The way you choose to live doesn't just affect you. It sends signals to the people around you. Think about the kid next door, or especially your own kids if you have them. They are always watching. If they see you living simply and still live a happy life, that kind of example shapes how they see things as well. You are showing them that belonging and joy don't have to come from spending or things, that they don't need to buy their way into being accepted. And every person who makes that choice makes it easier for the next person to do the same, no matter what their age is. So how to actually do it? When people hear looking poor, many immediately think the way to do it is with your clothing. And yes, choosing function and comfort over luxury brands is an obvious part of it, but I think the more interesting part is how this mindset shows up in the rest of life. One of the most powerful habits is learning to, for example, question every assumption, to pause and ask, why am I doing this? Am I buying this because I need it or because I want someone else to notice it? Am I replacing something because it is broken or just because it feels like something I should do? Another key habit is knowing the difference between wants and needs. Needs keep you safe, healthy, and comfortable. Wants can add joy, but they are not essential. The problem comes when we treat every want like a need. That's how lifestyle inflation happens. You get more, but somehow still don't feel like that is enough. And that's why it's very important to draw that line more clearly. So, drive a car that works and gets you from point A to point B safely, not one that impresses your neighbor but locks you into endless payments. Keep your phone until it dies. Live in a home that suits your actual needs, not your ego. Buy second-hand when it makes sense. Use public transport, bike or walk when you can. These choices don't make you less than anyone else. They are about finding contentment, being able to say, I am enough as I am. I have enough right now, and directing your resources toward things that truly serve you. When you do this, you start to focus less on what is owned and more on what is made, what is experienced. The richness of life comes from the skills you learn, the relationships you build, the ideas you share, and the freedom you feel in your everyday life. But with all of this, there are also a few things to be very careful about. Because the point of looking poor is not to turn it into another status and ego game either. First, don't look down on others just because they live differently or buy things you don't. Buying nice things isn't always about showing off. Different lives need different things. A uniform, a suit, or certain clothes might be part of someone's work or culture. And for many people, choosing expensive quality items is about comfort or function, not about status. The point is not that you cannot buy nice things, it's that you don't have to buy them to prove something. So that is the outward side, and the next pitfall is more inward. Don't let your simplicity turn into pride. It's easy to feel a little superior because you don't care about the brands or because you keep things modest and other people don't. But if the reason you are doing it is just to feel above others, then it's the same game as showing wealth, just played from the opposite side. And thinking back to my yesterday's accountant story, imagine if I had shown up looking all polished and expensive, and then she opened my bank account and realized the numbers didn't quite match the image. It shows how silly it is to show off when reality always comes out in other ways. For more ideas on living simply without falling into these traps, check out the video here. Thank you so much for watching. Remember to stay kind and meaningful in your own beautiful journey. See you in the next one.